It's back! The weekly contest where you get to compete against me, win cash prizes, and even be able to win an NFL jersey of your choice. I got all the information coming right up, so stay tuned. What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching the couch. These are my Week 8 NFL DFS picks. DraftKings and I partnered up to bring you guys an amazing contest. It's only 1 week, so you pick a team this week, you hit enter, and that's it. You won't have the same team next week. You're not locked in. It's just for this week. Week 8 of NFL. It's $3 to enter. You can enter up to 2 times max. Now, first place will win an NFL jersey, a player of your choice. All you gotta do is follow the link below. It'll take you to DraftKings. Just pick your team, enter, stay under the salary cap. That's all. If it's your first time playing on DraftKings and you deposit $5, you'll get free entry. So it's $3 to enter, but if it's your first time playing, your first time depositing, the entry is free. Of course, I'll be playing, so see you guys there. I'm gonna probably win first place, but hey, you can try your best to beat me. Now on to the picks. For quarterbacks, I have a lot of great GPP plays like Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, even Jameis Winston. And if you want to save a lot, you could go with CJ Beathard. I went with him last week, and actually he did well. Not really any quarterbacks that were cheap did as well as CJ Beathard. I think Tyrod Taylor did good, but he was nowhere as cheap as CJ Beathard. Beathard was the cheapest guy. Super risky this week. And remember, when I'm talking about GPP quarterbacks, we're going with no safety, a lot of risk, a lot of upside, and of course, QBs that we think will be sleepers, will be contrarian picks, not popular names. Now for a little bit of safety, guys I can kind of trust this week. For my stud quarterback, we have Carson Wentz at 7,200 going against the Niners. The only real risk with this is that the Eagles will blow out the Niners and they may not throw a lot towards the end of the game. But this offense is so efficient. They spread the ball a lot. Not really any way to stop them. Like, how can you slow down the Eagles? They'll run the ball with Blunt. They'll run the ball with Smallwood. And they'll also throw. They have Ertz. They have Torrey Smith, Aguilar, Alshon Jeffrey. The list goes on. So when you want a quarterback that's talented, that on a team that's going to score a lot of points, that's going to be efficient, that's going to move the ball well, there's not really too many other quarterbacks I trust more than Carson Wentz. If you want to save a significant amount, you can go with Kirk Cousins. This will be a very high scoring game. Dallas Cowboys defense isn't that good. Kirk Cousins knows how to throw a lot of touchdowns and a lot of passing yards against this Cowboys team. I think he'll have a good game, and for his price tag, that's pretty good value. Now let's go cheap. At only $5,700, we have Andy Dalton going against the Colts. Vontae Davis is no longer the shutdown corner. I mean, this team is just horrible. Here's another game where there's a little bit of risk that the Bengals get an early lead and just kind of, you know, it's not a high-scoring game, just kind of wind the clock down. But in order for them to get a lead, I see A.J. Green having a good game. Andy Dalton can also throw to Brandon LaFell, Tyler Kroft, maybe even get one of these no-name wide receivers involved. And he likes to throw to the running backs, Gio Bernard and Mixon. He'll have a good game. And for this price tag, he'll definitely return value and then some, maybe. Now this week is really tough. A lot of teams are on bye, and I think there's only 9 games. Right? Yeah, 9 games in the main slate. So we have to be very picky. I love all the studs this week, except that tight end maybe. Tight end's the only place where I know I can save and I'm confident in somewhat. But I want to pay up for defense. I want to pay up for running back. I want to pay up for at least 1 wide receiver. I mean, at least 1 running back. And, you know, I like Carson Wentz. So I don't know, you know, it's going to be tough this week. But that's, in order to make a good lineup, I think we have to know who's this guy to save, right? Let's at least try to focus on one running back at least that's cheap. At least focus on one wide receiver that's cheap in order to make a good lineup. So for the studs at running back, I like Le'Veon Bell, 9,300. No-brainer right here. See, last week was awesome. We faded Le'Veon Bell, went with Ezekiel Elliott, and we were in the green with every single freaking line. Just because we had Ezekiel Elliott, we won and we're in the green every lineup last week, which was awesome. Thank you, Zeke, for just crushing my 49ers. Hey, it's all good. I mean, I like Zeke this week too, but I'd rather go with Le'Veon Bell. And I also would rather go cheaper, save a little bit, and go with Shady McCoy. LaShawn McCoy's only 8,700, playing against the Raiders. One thing that I really like about him is that I think he's kind of due for some more touchdowns. He didn't get any touchdowns the first 6 games, and then boom, he scored a couple touchdowns last week. What I really like about him, another thing, is that he's heavily involved in the passing game. If he didn't get 5 targets at least this game against the Raiders, I'd be shocked. He gets 5 targets every game. This guy's going to be awesome. He's heavily involved in the passing game, in the rushing game. He's their best offensive weapon. You can definitely have confidence in him as long as he stays healthy. And in DFS, we don't care about being injury prone because it's week to week. We don't have to play Shady McCoy for 16 weeks. So those are my 2 studs. Look, a lot of people are talking about Mark Ingram, rightfully so. The usage is incredible. He's playing at home. The Saints should have a lead, blah, blah, blah. I love him. But let's go a little bit more contrarian here. For only 200 cheaper, we can go with Devonta Freeman, who's been very good the first few games of the season, but the last 2 games he hasn't been very good. Now, the Falcons, they're so stupid, right? And I can't see them being any more stupider than they've been. I think the last 2 games they've been so dumb. There's just no way they can be this stupid again, can they? The key to winning this game is to go through the running backs. Use Tevin Coleman, and use Devonta Freeman. Devonta Freeman should get a lot of targets, a lot of touches, a lot of carries. I just don't see any other way that the Falcons will operate. The weather conditions may not be ideal, could be a little bit windy. They just got to go through Freeman to win this game. You want to win, right? Go through Freeman. I love Freeman this week, and he will be much less owned because of the 2 poor games he's had the last couple weeks. I never seen Freeman be garbage, right? It's just that he hasn't gotten the opportunities. Give the man the opportunities, please. Jordan Howard's okay. 6,800. You can run the ball against the Saints. A guy I really like, though, at 5,900 is Alvin Kamara. We all know DraftKings is full PPR. If you didn't know, you know now. And in full PPR leagues, I absolutely love Alvin Kamara. He's immune to the gain script. He's going to get some carries now that Adrian Peterson is gone. And boy, will he get targets. I absolutely love Alvin Kamara. I like him really so much because it's full PPR and the price. He is only 5,900 going against the Bears. For some cheaper options, we have Wendell Smallwood. I think he'll be a great contrarian pick because of the next guy I'm going to mention, Joe Mixon, 4,700. A lot of people are going to be going to Joe Mixon, probably including me. I can't pick Le'Veon, LaShawn McCoy, Carson Wentz, so on and so forth. I'm just not going to have enough salary. If I use a guy like Joe Mixon, who's priced very cheap, 4,700 going against the Colts. The Bengals are slated to have a huge lead. We should see Joe Mixon get in the end zone here. It's great. I mean, it's sweet. It's an easy pick right here. The Colts give up the 3rd most fantasy points to the running back position according to DraftKings scoring. The writing's on the wall. It's obvious. Joe Mixon. Gosh, I have so many other running backs that are cheap and GPPs. You know, like Duke Johnson, 4,500. There's a lot of them. But I want to throw a punt out there. Like, I really want to focus on cheap players as well when I do these videos. And one that I kind of like, you know, I don't have a lot of confidence in, but let's say if I did a few GPP lineups, I might have him in one, and that is Thomas Rawls, 3,600. If I had to pick one of the 3 running backs for the Seahawks, or one of the 4, whatever it may be, all right, whatever, I'd go with Thomas Rawls over Eddie Lacy. He seems to be getting more touches and more snaps, and he's at home. The Seahawks should win this game. So I think it's a decent punt. Not a guy I like, not a guy with a ton of upside. You're gonna need a little bit of, you're gonna need a little bit, get a little bit lucky with Thomas Rawls, and that can happen. For wide receivers, I like Antonio Brown, 8,800. Shocker, I know. Not a lot to think about that. Okay, Antonio Brown, I get it. I also like AJ Green. Now the writing's on the wall for this one too. AJ Green should be a beast. There's not really a cornerback who can guard him, not really a safety on that Colts team that can guard him. He should have a good game. I see the first drive, they should go to AJ Green at least 3 times. He should get a touchdown. They should just keep going to him till they have a 2 or 3 touchdown lead. I don't see any other way that AJ Green doesn't beast, get at least 90 to 110 yards and 1 touchdown. I love this matchup. One guy who I have a feeling is a little bit overlooked is Michael Thomas. And I understand a little bit of this. Drew Brees really loves to spread the ball, but he's playing at home, so they're playing in New Orleans, and I see Drew Brees having a very successful game this week. And Michael Thomas, man, I see him getting in the end zone. I see him getting at least 75 yards. This is good. This is a mid-level play as far as the price goes. 7,600 compared to, what was AJ Green? 8,600. So it's about 1,000 cheaper than AJ Green, 1,200 cheaper than Antonio Brown. I think he's gonna really need to get in the end zone for you to be happy with this pick, but I think there's a good chance he will. 2 GPP picks that I like are DeAndre Hopkins. He didn't have a great game. Last week he was on bye, but the week before he only had 2 catches and 1 short touchdown. And he's playing in Seattle. I think a lot of people will fade DeAndre Hopkins and stay away from him. That could be an awesome sneaky pick. And his price point is neither expensive nor cheap. Could kind of get lost. It just doesn't scream to me like pick this guy. And that's why I think he's a bit of a contrarian pick. Also in the same game, we have Doug Baldwin at 6,900. He plays in the slot. He's usually not really guardable by slot cornerbacks. I think, again, he'll have a good matchup being defended against the nickel corner on the Texans. He'll have a lot of opportunities. Now, if you hated my Thomas Rawls pick, which I don't blame you for hating that Thomas Rawls pick, then at least think about Doug Baldwin. You really think the Seahawks offense will have no success? I mean, some facet of the Seahawks are slated to have success, right? Whether they play great defense or whether Russell Wilson plays very efficient, very well, or maybe the run game gets a little bit alive with Thomas Rawls or something like that. And I think Russell Wilson, he'll throw at least a couple touchdowns, and Doug Baldwin, man, good matchup, sneaky pick. Another kind of sneaky pick is Alshon Jeffrey. I think his price is... The price is right. It's not too expensive. It's not too cheap. But compared to Aguilar, so Nelson Aguilar's 5,500. I'll be talking about him. Alshon Jeffries is 6,700. Now, Alshon Jeffries is quote-unquote the #1 wide receiver on the Eagles, but Aguilar is actually the one that's been more productive and has gotten more fantasy points. So I think people will lean way more towards Aguilar and a way cheaper price point. So Alshon Jeffrey, 6,700. I like him in cash games. I like him in GPPs. I like him. I think this is the week you pick him. I don't have tremendous confidence in him. I have tremendous confidence in Carson Wentz, and I have tremendous confidence in everybody going and picking Aguilar instead of Alshon Jeffrey, leaving Alshon to be a contrarian pick. I like Pierre Garçon, 6,100. Danny Amendola, I think the middle of the field is where the Patriots are going to hurt the Chargers. A lot of Gronk, a lot of the running backs. I don't know which one. Maybe James White, maybe Deion Lewis, maybe the Burkhead, who knows? And a good amount of Danny Amendola. Do I have a lot of confidence? No, because who knows who's going to go off on the Patriots. All I know is that the Patriots will put up a lot of points. So maybe want to have a Patriot or two in some of your lineups. And I got to go with Nelson Aguilar still. Even though I talked up Alshon Jeffries, Nelson Aguilar's price hasn't really caught up to him. Only 55. Like, look, he's cheaper than Amendola, and he's been way better than Amendola. Nelson Aguilar has been pretty much incredible, and so is Carson Wentz. And only 5,500 going against the Niners just probably couldn't possibly be a better matchup than going against the Niners. Shoot, both Aguilar and Alshon. Just incredible matchups. They should be able to beat their guys one-on-one easily every play, and Carson Wentz should be able to find them. For a GPP pick, we can go with Josh Doctson at 3,900. Not a guy I quite trust yet, but that's why he's a GPP play. Eventually, he will be, well, he basically has taken over Pryor's spot. Pryor is done. Doxson's the new wide receiver in town. 3,900, that's super cheap. I wanted to bring another one that I really like, that I'm really bullish on, and this is a bold pick, and that's Kendall Wright at 3,500. Mitchell Trubisky threw about 7 passes last week and had like 4 completions. And Kendall Wright, I think he saw 1 target, 0 catches last week. This is a bold pick. This is a true punt wide receiver. He's priced at 3,500. I think minimum price is 3,000 on DraftKings. So he's basically minimum price. 3,500. The Saints will have a lead. They're playing in a dome. Mitchell Trubisky will finally have to throw the ball a little bit. The Bears will have to throw in the 4th quarter and try to come back. I think Kendall Wright is the most reliable receiver. He'll also have the best matchup as he's playing in the slot. I think the nickel cornerback won't be as good. I want to give you guys cheap options, some punt options, and Kendall Wright playing in New Orleans. I like that one. For tight ends, we can spend up. We can go with Austin Seferian-Jenkins at 4,900. Hunter Henry, not a lot of safety, but a ton of upside. Great matchup going against the Patriots, 4,800 for him. One guy I really like, though, is Jordan Reed, 4,700. The price is right. Just imagine if this was last year, you knew Jordan Reed was fairly healthy, and his price was 4,700. You think it was a glitch. And he just proved himself last week. So his ownership will be kind of high, but I still feel like people aren't totally sold on Jordan Reed. I think for the price, man, for a tight end, which is tough to predict, and Kirk Cousins playing well. Kirk Cousins didn't play well the first 2 games. Now he's just balling ever since those first 2 games. He's playing out of his mind. And Jordan Reed, probably his favorite target going forward. I like it, man. 4,700 in a high-scoring game. Should be a competitive game as well. No blowouts going either way. Jimmy Graham, 4,600. I don't like Jimmy Graham that much this week, but I do like his price. I do like his upside. Not a lot of safety. So I like Jordan Reed a lot. I also like Tyler Kroft quite a bit. This value, this price point is going to be so hard to beat. I think I picked a Bengal, at least one Bengal for every position, and why not for tight end? At only 3,000, with all the uncertainties at tight end, why not go cheap? If you're gonna go, like if you're confident in a mid price or an expensive tight end, okay. But if you're not, might as well save the 1,000 or 2,000, right? And spend that up on Le'Veon Bell or AJ Green or Carson Wentz, someone like that, a stud. And this is one way to do that. Tyler Kroft going against the Colts, only 3,000. For defenses, I love the Vikings D. They're 4,000 going against the Browns. I think that's enough said. Like, it's pretty obvious they're the most expensive defense. However, they're playing in London and they're not in the main slate. So let's focus on some other options. Alternate options are the Eagles, 3,800 going against the Niners. Bengals, 3,600, another Bengals pick, going against the Colts. And another one I really like, though, is great value, is the Steelers, 2,900 at Detroit. Now keep tabs on Golden Tate. I'm not sure if he's going to be playing. In the Facebook group that I created, they're saying it's a long shot for Golden Tate to play. I don't know. That's just what I heard. So just keep tabs on him. See his practice participation level on Friday. That's going to be a good indication. But if Golden Tate's not playing, that's going to be a huge hit. Or even if Golden Tate is severely limited and not going to be playing his usual amount of snaps, that's going to boost the Steelers defense. The Steelers defense, let's face it, they've been playing incredible this entire year, both in fantasy and in real life. I think their price isn't really reflecting that because the Lions are a decent offense, but man, I like it. I like it. At 2,900, you can't really beat that. I don't have a lot of cheap defenses though. Sorry, guys. Last week I crushed it though, so you gotta at least give me some brownie points for that, right? Last week I said, hey, the Chargers, they're not bad. It was 2,400. The Bears, you know, don't trust them a lot, but they have a ton of upside. Only 2,200. Both of them absolutely crushed it. Chargers defense scored a ton of points and Bears scored even more. I wish I picked the Bears more than I did. I did pick the Chargers quite a bit though, so last week was a good week for us in DFS. So guys, make sure you do follow the link below in the description and enter the DraftKings contest. I'll be there playing. I wish you guys good luck, but I want to win though, so not, you know, you can come in second place. I'm cool with that. You can come in second place, third place, but I want to win first place. Regardless though, I really appreciate you guys, and when you do enter, it helps support this channel. Really appreciate it. Make sure you guys like the video. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the couch icon over there to the side of me. Subscribe so you won't miss out on any future videos. Leave a comment below, and if you're asking a question, use hashtag AskTheBrain. That way I know you're a true Fantasy Couch fan. I'll see you guys on the next video.